got some texts and texts, or not emails, texts. And some people didn't really understand some of what we said last week, so I just want to clarify it. And I think I'm going to use the board. What we spoke about last week was something called the complete breath. A lot of you know about the complete breath, but a lot of people were confused. It's 4 parts. The breathing is 4 parts, okay? So let's say here is your, hi sweetheart.
Hello.
Here is your inhalation over here. And it doesn't really matter how long it is. It could be if you're having trouble breathing, it could be 1 second. It could be 5 seconds. It could be 8, I don't know, doesn't matter. But what you want to do is you want to retain your breath for twice the amount. So let's say this inhalation was 2. So then you want to retain your breath for 4. Right, we're counting, okay? Then you want to exhale for 4. And then you want to keep the breath out of your body for 4. So the inhalation is always, I didn't do it very well, but whatever. You get the idea? That the everything else is twice the amount. So inhale, retain. This is the retention, right? Retain. Exhale. And then over here, you want to keep the breath out of your body. You want to stay empty. So it's 4 parts. Not everybody understood that. But this is what's called, there's a lot of breathing exercises out there. But I find for me, the people I work with, this is very, very healing. And when I did it so this is keep the breath out of the body. So, keep it out, keep the breath out. You want to stay empty. This is actually, from what we learned last week, this is the most important part, actually. Empty. And I say to me, I don't know what the English word is.
You mean like hold, like?
Keep it out of your body. You don't want to take another breath. You want to pause.
You breathe in, you pause.
So
We're gonna demonstrate it.
you're breathing in,
Okay.
We'll
you're
demonstrate
holding that breath in, you are exhaling, and then you're keeping a space between the next breath. You don't want to take another breath for a few seconds. You want to work towards double the amount, okay? You may not be able to do it initially, but you need to practice. Okay, please.
And I thought when you inhale and then the retaining, you hold it as long as you can, and then
Try to do it rhythmically, because if you hold it as long as you can, you maybe it won't be as controlled. You want a controlled breath, and we did it spiritually last week. Those who were not here, you'll get the recording. But what I said last week, which you missed, some of you, when you inhale, you breathe in something spiritual. Could be, I'm going to say Hashem. It could be my higher power. It could be my healing power. Could be HP. It could be
HP, what's
mother healing power or higher power, or it could be whatever, anything spiritual, something, or it could be healing. I breathe in healing. I breathe in light. Hold it in my body. Let's choose light. Okay, so I breathe in light. I visualize as I hold the light in, I visualize it going through all the cells of my body. I breathe out tension, or the opposite, like here, I would breathe out darkness or negativity. And then I say, with the empty part, my healing power, or Hashem, or whatever you want to work, God, I don't know, whatever, is always here. So you breathe in light, hold it in your body, use it as a meditation. It's a combination breath/meditation. And it's really phenomenal. If you practice it, you will definitely see results. So
Let's demonstrate it. Let's demonstrate the breath.
let's just practice for a minute before we go into our new things. Also, for those who were not here last week, we decided, and if you can't make it, I'm so sorry, that we would just extend. We did 15 extra minutes last week. We're just doing 15 minutes for the next couple of weeks, so it adds up to another hour. Because of the bar mitzvah, we have to get back to New York.
When is that you won't be here?
The last session.
April 1st.
No, we're here April 1st. No, it's the
We're here
one
April
after.
1st, right.
April,
April 8th.
whatever that is.
April 8th.
April 8th. So if we can practice if you want. So let's just do it together. So just breathe in. Obviously, you want to be comfortable. You want it to be fun. You want it to be easy. You want to enjoy the process. So if you can only breathe in for one, fine. But just, you want this combination. So if I was breathing in for one, how long would I hold it? Anybody?
2.
2. Very good. And how long would I exhale for?
2.
2. And how long would I stay empty? 2. Okay, so it's really very simple, but
It's a ratio.
it's not, it takes a while to get it and to get it smoothly. But this is, for me and all my years of experimenting with breath, which has been from 19 to 74, it's a lot of years. This I find amazing, really very, very healing. So we can practice for a minute or so.
Are you breathing just through
Through
your
the
nose,
nose.
or you're doing?
Ideally,
diaphragm?
the nose,
With your diaphragm as well.
the nose goes, yeah. You
But
wanna
also
keep your
with your
mouth
diaphragm?
closed. You mean keep your mouth closed as much as possible. I don't wanna emphasize anything else, diaphragm is that. Just get this formula down. Don't worry about anything else, okay? Except the mouth closed. And as I said before, for me, it's a very spiritual concept. Why? We're taking in, we're holding what we've been given in, appreciating it, right? Letting go of any negativity, and then, and then staying empty. The ego, we're very full of ourselves a lot of the time, right? So emptiness is a goal. Staying comfortable with emptiness is definitely a very good goal. I don't know, would you all agree? Because you can't always get what you want. Hi! You can't always get what you want. And you sometimes have to pause, right, between meals. You may be hungry. Emptiness is definitely a goal. And of course, in terms of the ego, it's definitely a goal. So, for those who came late, I'm gonna send you a recording so you can see it, but we're gonna practice the breathing. It's 4 parts, just follow the chart. So everybody, mouth closed, and if it's hard for you to keep your mouth closed, they do recommend
I'll point it
hold your lips together.
out. I'll do it.
Okay, so inhale for 2. Retain it for 4. Exhale for 4. Keep the breath out of your body for 4. Okay, it's called 4-part breathing. Okay?
How do you keep
So-
it out of your body? You
Don't
open
take
your
another
mouth
breath.
and,
No.
no?
You're breathing out and you just keep a pause between inhalation and the next inhalation. It may take practice for some of you, I don't know, but please do it. That's your homework. Oh, that's one thing we wanted to do also at the beginning. Did anybody do their homework?
Yeah, but I
Okay,
think-
what happened last week was that we gave out cards with questions, affirmation cards. We're gonna give out more, and they were your homework. Did anybody do their homework? No? Okay, wow, you can all go in the corner now.
Go with
No. Anyway, so we have these cards. I ordered them from Amazon. They're really cool. And on one side is an affirmation. On the other side, some of them are questions, some of them are thoughts. So we're going to give out those cards again, and please do your homework. Okay, so part of the thing we spoke about the first week was excuses, right? And it's kind of excuses and sabotage. So I'm sure everybody has very legitimate excuses why they didn't do their homework. But we could probably take up the next half hour listening to them. But that's part of what we're here for, is to work on our saboteurs that, put off the things that we really need to do, to feed ourselves what we really need to so-called eat, both physically, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, right? So Moshe's gonna talk about that, right?
So what it is, okay.
But do you wanna do the song first?
No.
No, we'll do that, okay.
Okay, hey everybody, welcome, great to see each and every one of you. So, we're going to start a new topic today, and if imagine that we were giving you these cards every single week, and you did them every single week over a year, at the end of the year, you wouldn't even have to think about doing it, because you were doing it every single week. That's called a habit. That's a good habit. So we all have good habits, and we all have bad habits. So can anyone here give me some examples of a good habit that they do?
Brushing our teeth.
Excellent, we brush our teeth. When do you brush your teeth?
I actually brush my teeth 3 times a day.
Fantastic, that's a great habit. Any other good habits you can think of? Yeah.
Smile.
Smile, I have to work on that habit. Yes, smiling is a great habit, okay? Nechama?
No, he's just telling you to move over.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Get enough sleep.
going to bed on
That's
time.
easier said than done.
Right, that's easier said than done. Now we're gonna get into, yes, what are some bad habits? Like, what would be a bad habit that would affect you from having a good night's rest? Yeah.
Procrastinating.
What?
Procrastinating.
About what?
About going to bed.
Oh, about going to bed. Going to bed too late?
Yeah.
Yes.
Eating sweets.
Very good.
Watching TV.
Watching TV. They say, yes.
Eating late at night.
Oh, so, looks like we know a lot more about bad habits than we know about good habits. Isn't that interesting? Right, so it's true, so there was a author who wrote an amazing book. Just let me erase this. Hopefully you've all, don't worry, we're not gonna quiz you at the end on that. There was an author named James Clear. And he wrote a book called Atomic Habits. Now, why do we call it Atomic Habits? Because he said there are certain things that you can do that are small changes that are going to have a big effect in your life. And as I said to you last time, a lot of what we've learned is over the years we've read books, we've gone to lectures, we go on YouTube, we've gone to classes, and then if it has a big impact on us, then we investigate a little bit further. He had a tremendous impact on me, and you're gonna see a little interview with him, about 7 minutes. He's gonna be talking about habits. You don't have to write anything down. How many of you remembered your notebooks and pens? Bad habit, very good, okay, good habit, bad habit, okay. Don't write anything down, because I have a handout with all the things that he's talking about, plus a lot more. And what we're gonna talk about today is how to build good habits, and also how to train yourself to get out of bad habits, okay? And one thing I would appreciate is everybody could put their phones on mute. That wasn't planned, but if everybody could put their phone on mute, that would be appreciated. So, okay. Okay, so hold on. Okay, so.
My apologies.
You're gonna see a little video on habits.
And welcome back
Of course,
to this
there's
US
always a
Open Office
commercial.
Plan.
Miller just lobbed a message way over Jones's head using some technical jargon.
Oh, and Jones brings the heat with a per my last email.
They need to start working together if they want to ace this project.
Let's see if they can use Grammarly to their advantage.
Okay.
It's not that luck and randomness and uncertainty don't play a role in life. They do. You know, luck is a part of all of our lives to a certain degree, both good fortune and bad. But by definition, you don't have control over luck. And your habits also matter. And I think that the reason they're so worthwhile to focus on and understand is that they are the portion of your life that you can influence that also determines your outcomes. It's not just luck, it's not just habits, but one of those you have control over. And so it makes sense. The only reasonable strategy is to focus on what you can control. If you spend all of your time focusing on things you can't control, then you're just gonna end up frustrated. And so I think habits are maybe the best lever for that. Talent and genes, they play a role, and it's important. You know, people have natural predispositions to things that make them better. But what you find is that nearly always when someone is a great performer in a particular domain, they are both well suited, so naturally talented or have some kind of predisposition to that area, and well trained. And so even if you are talented, you can't succeed without having great habits to execute and to fully realize the potential that you have. Your outcomes in life are often a lagging measure of your habits. You know, like a lot of the time people talk about, you know, I want to have more money, or I want to lose weight, or I want some kind of result. But the truth is, your bank account is a lagging measure of your financial habits. Your weight is a lagging measure of your eating habits. Your knowledge is a lagging measure of your learning and reading habits. And so it's actually, we think the thing that needs to change is the bank account or the test score or the number on the scale. But actually the thing that needs to change are the habits that precede those outcomes. Every action you take is kind of like a vote for the type of person you want to become. And if you can master the right actions, if you can master the right habits, then you can start to cast votes for this new identity, this desired person that you want to be. And I think that's one of the reasons why small habits matter so much. They don't necessarily transform your life overnight, right away. Like doing one push-up does not transform your body. But it does cast a vote for being the type of person who doesn't miss workouts. Or meditating for 1 minute might not give you an immediate sense of calm in your life, but it does cast a vote for being a meditator. The real goal is not to run a marathon, the goal is to become a runner. The goal is not to write a book, the goal is to become a writer. Because once you've adopted that identity, you're really not even pursuing behavior change anymore. You're just kind of acting in alignment with the type of person you already see yourself to be. It's kind of like true behavior change is really identity change. Because once you've changed that internal story, it's way easier to show up each day. You're not even really motivating yourself that much to do it. You're just like, this is who I am now. There's a sort of a misalignment of rewards that often happens with habits. So there's an immediate outcome, an immediate reward, and then an ultimate reward. And for your bad habits, one reason bad habits stick so readily, that they form so easily, is because bad habits, often the immediate reward is favorable, right? Like, what's the immediate reward of eating a donut? It's kind of great, it's sweet, it's sugary, it tastes good. It's only the ultimate reward, if you repeat that habit for 6 months or a year or 2 years, that is unfavorable. Meanwhile, good habits are often the exact opposite. The immediate reward of going to the gym, or going to the gym for like a week, isn't really that great. Your body's probably sore, you don't have much to show for it, your body looks the same, your weight hasn't really changed. But if you stick to that for 6 months or a year or 2 years, then the ultimate reward is favorable. And so a lot of the balance, or a lot of the challenge of building good habits and breaking bad ones is figuring out how to pull the long-term costs of your bad habits into the present moment, so you feel a little bit of that pain right now and have a reason to avoid it, and pull the long-term rewards of your good habits into the present moment so it feels good. And you have a reason to kind of make it through that like valley of death in the beginning and stick with it while you're waiting for those delayed rewards to accumulate. I think we could just summarize that whole cognitive bias or misalignment of rewards by saying the cost of your good habits is in the present and the cost of your bad habits is in the future. And the fact that we prioritize the present over the future ends up making a lot of habit change difficult for that reason. If I was going to give some practical takeaways, I would say first thing that you can do is probably optimize your environment, because sometimes that's all you need to do. So might as well start there, and then maybe it'll take care of itself. You know, like I mentioned, putting the apples in a bowl on the counter, that was all I needed to do. I was happy to be eating apples every day was done. Or maybe putting your TV inside a wall unit or something, maybe that'll be enough to reduce it or curb the habit. Unsubscribe from the food blogs, and now you're not tempted to eat as many cookies or something like that.
Mobile phone, super important.
Yes, right, things like that, removing the applications, or like you deleting Instagram off your phone, well, that was enough. Now your Instagram habit is roughly where you want it to be, and you just look on the desktop instead of on your phone, and that was enough, and now you're fixed. So, environment design, good place to start. Next thing that I would recommend is the 2-minute rule and scaling your habits down, making them as easy as possible. Basically, just downscale it to a point where you can answer the question, can I stick to this habit 98% of the time without fail, no matter what the conditions? And if you have to say no to that, then it's probably too big to start. So, pretty much every habit has an entry point, or the first thing that you try to do. Just focus on mastering that. And I think that's a good place to focus. And then building off of that, the last one that I'll recommend is, there's this great story that I mentioned in the book about Twyla Tharp, who's a famous dance choreographer and instructor. And she trains still even now, she trains for 2 hours a day. She's, 50s, 60s, she's been training for a long time, dancing her whole career. But she doesn't actually focus on the exercise habit. The habit that she focuses on building is, I put on my workout clothes and my sweatshirt and I hail the cab on the side of the street. And if I've done that, then I've completed the habit. And I think the insight that she realized is that habits are often the entry point, not the end point. They're the cab, not the gym. They're like an entrance ramp to the bigger routines in your life. And if you can master that habit, that like little decisive moment that determines what happens in the next chunk of time, then the rest of it kind of falls in line. Like, I have this moment each morning where either I open up Evernote and I start writing the next article I'm gonna work on, or I go to ESPN and I check the latest sports news. And what happens in the next hour is really determined by what happens in the first 30 seconds. Because if I go to ESPN, then the next hour is kind of shot. But if I start writing the article, if I master that entry point, then I'm kind of speeding in the right direction and the momentum carries me into the rest of the task. And I think that, for me, that's a little bit inspiring when it comes to building habits, because what you realize is that there's actually not that much to change. There may be 5 or 10 of those little decisive moments, those little entry points throughout your day that determine whether the next chunk of time is productive or not. And if you can organize your environment or join a community or restructure your habits so that those entry points are mastered, then you're much more likely to live a good, productive day. And so I think that those 3 things, environment design, scale your habits down, and master the entry points, those are some really good places to start.
I think that's basically it. So watch your eyes. I'm just going to turn the lights on.
The information in this video comes from the fantastic book Atomic Habits by James Clear.
Now they're going to
This
try
book
to
is
sell you the book.
jam-packed with simple tools that you
Which
can
is a
apply
great
to
book, by
change
the
your
way.
habits and dramatically improve your life. Right now, you can listen
There's
to
so much
Atomic
information
Habits.
in there. So I want to hand this out. Actually, can you hand these out, Nakama, please? So, and just, let me just have one also. Thank you. If I have enough. 1, 2, 3. I think we'll have enough. I'll take it from.
If not, well,
If not, I'll take it from, see if we have enough. If not, I'll take it from here. So, we mentioned that 2-minute rule. If you can do it, and I'm gonna go over a lot of stuff outside of what he spoke about, and a couple of things that he touched upon. But he mentioned that 2-minute rule, and to me, that really is related to what, Nachama, does someone need?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay,
there's one extra.
okay, who else needs?
extra.
Okay, so that 2-minute rule applies to what Nachama Sapora was talking about. You have enough?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're gonna share.
That 2-minute rule applies to what Nachama was talking about in terms of breath. Because in terms of breath, this is a good starting point. You want to work on that cube of breath for 2 minutes. 2 minutes to start. Do that 2 minutes for a week or 2. But we're going to see the power of habits. Let's go through this quickly. A lot of stuff he spoke about, but I really like number 1 is you don't have control over luck. You don't have control over luck. So you're not going to be successful because you just think, I'm unlucky because, a person would say, I'm unlucky because I don't have a good night's rest. No, you don't have a good night's rest because you're not following the correct habits. But what you can control are habits. Brushing your teeth 3 times a day. So when you go to the dentist, when a person goes to the dentist, I have such bad luck when I go to the dentist because I had 10 cavities. The dentist says, do you brush your teeth? No. Do you floss? No. Bad habits. So it's not luck, it's the habits that you create. So he spoke about this, and this is, so let's look at number 2. It says the cost of your good habits is in the present. So getting up 15 minutes earlier to journal and feeling a little more tired. The cost of your bad habits is in the future. So eating dessert every day and after a year gaining 15 pounds. And then you said, so like he said, in the present, having that dessert, oh, that feels so good. But that's the short term. But in the long term, that's a bad habit that's going to have a negative effect. Now I actually had, and the flip side of it is, good habits in the present can be uncomfortable. Like I started to go to PT for my neck, and the exercises that they gave me were a bit painful, and also had to spend some time. But after about a month or 2 of doing these exercises every single day, all the pain in my neck disappeared. So in the short term, in the present, it was uncomfortable. But in the long term, I had a positive outcome. So, and what he said there is try to put a little pleasantness in the short term for the good habits, and a little bit of discomfort in the short term for the bad habits, so that at least you know what's coming. So I want to tell you a story about number 3. It's a very interesting story. In 2003, the British cycling team was the worst cycling team in the world. They lost everything. They had the major race in cycling is the Tour de France. They had never won the Tour de France, and they hadn't won a gold medal at the Olympics since 1908. They were so bad that no bicycle company wanted to supply them with bikes because they didn't want their names associated with this team. With the losers. That's how bad they were. So they hired a new coach. They had tried other coaches, and he incorporated something on number 3 called the aggregational of marginal gains. So what did he do? He made tiny little changes in lots of different areas. So he changed the seats they were sitting on in the bicycles. He put oil on the tires so they would go a little faster. He had them wear more aerodynamically designed uniforms so there wouldn't be as much wind resistance. He even had them learn how to wash their hands correctly so they wouldn't have colds, so there would be less downtime in terms of training. Did maybe 100 little tweaks, and they won the Tour de France, and over 6 years they won gold medal at every single Olympics because of all these tiny things. So that is the power of, you can also follow this thing of aggregation of marginal gains in your own life. So like before you go to bed like 15 minutes earlier, turn off the TV set, make sure you don't eat for an hour before, make sure there's no LED lights in the room, make sure that if there's noise, like in our bedroom, I hear birds squawking all night long. So what we do is we have a sound machine on. Tiny little things will help you sleep like a baby, or whatever it is, whatever else you want to do.
I have a very good, one of my favorite sort of jokes, I guess, but it's not really. They say, if you think you're too small to make a difference, have you ever gone to bed with a mosquito? I love that. That's an African proverb. But it's kind of the same thing with goals. If you think you can't really change, do something tiny,
And that's exactly what the
doesn't have to be a monumental thing. I mean, that was a lot of things that Moshe just mentioned. If you want to be a better sleeper, the first thing I would say, because I know that was brought up a couple weeks ago, I would say don't worry about it. As much as possible, don't attach as much importance to it. I know that helped me a tremendous amount, because I used to get so upset, oh my God, I only slept like 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours, and that would stress me out. So now actually, that happened last night. I fell asleep early because I was exhausted, at about 9 o'clock. I woke up at 2 and I said, oh, okay. And I enjoyed myself. And here I am. I've been up since 2 a.m., but I don't make an issue out of it. And if I get tired, I'll meditate, or I'll take a nap, or for a little bit, or whatever. But the main thing that I learned many years ago is don't make an issue out of it, because that will create more stress, and that will affect the next night's sleep. Usually, a lot of times this happens to me, and it's sporadic. So like tonight, I may sleep 7 hours. That's about the most I think I've ever slept in my whole life. I don't come, and you know, there is a genetic component to everything. I mean, you can do, everybody knew I was a nut about my teeth. All my friends knew. Every night, you know, like, I can't talk to you, I'm doing my teeth. Like, you know, floss them, brush them, I don't know, everything. I was like, you know, spent a lot of time with my teeth. Last year, I had 12 extractions.
Oh,
So,
as much as you did.
my parents had a lot of teeth problems. I mean, I do my efforts. I still continue to do my efforts with whatever I have left. But I'm just saying, you know, you do your efforts, and you don't have control over everything, you know, but little changes are great.
Yeah, but the flip side,
Do you wanna finish what you were gonna say?
yeah, so I'm just saying, but the flip side of it is, don't use genetics as an excuse for your lack of success.
Don't use what?
Don't use genetics as an excuse, because that's what he said. The one thing you can control are your habits. We can't control our genetics, but we shouldn't use it as an excuse. We have to have good habits. And that's what number 4 is. You should be more concerned with your trajectory than with your current results. So what that means is, much better to start jogging. I gave an example. For example, start with jogging 2 minutes per day. At the end of a month, increase it by 2 minutes. By the end of the year, you'll be doing 24 minutes a day. As opposed to saying, oh, I'm only jogging 2 minutes, that hasn't any value. I'm gonna go jog 25 minutes or 24 minutes. The guy comes back and he's like, I can never go jogging. So be more concerned with the trajectory, where you're going. So yeah, you start small. The same thing with the breath. Be concerned more with the trajectory than with, the current, where you are, the current results. Okay, so now we're gonna get to some practical advice. How to build a new habit or change an old one, which is everybody I think wants to start certain habits that are gonna make them be more effective. So, it says habits begin with a cue or a trigger to act. So he says examples: when you walk in a dark room, you turn on the light. Or when we wake up and feel tired, we drink coffee. So, just a couple of things. Number 1, you can make a cue obvious. So you want to learn how to play guitar? You say, I want to play guitar every day. Put your guitar out, right in the living room, right where you can't walk past it. It's there. That's called changing a cue. Or you want to eat a healthy breakfast? Put it on the counter the night before. Or implementation intention. This is where he says that you have to use the correct words. If you make it general and mushy, it's going to be general and mushy. I'm going to run more. Or I'm going to, whatever it is. I'm going to, whatever the thing is, as opposed to I'll run more, versus on Monday and Wednesday and Thursday, I'll get up at such and such a time and I'll go for a run. Make it very, very specific. Temptation bundling. So you link a behavior to something that you think is important, but unappealing to a behavior that you're drawn to. For example, the only time you watch television when you go on an exercise bike. So I want to watch TV. Who wants to do exercise? So we have a skip jogger at home, little trampolines. I would say the only time I can watch TV is when I go on the trampoline.
I used to do that with the kids, but I think we need to.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap up. I'm gonna wrap it up in like 1 minute or 2 minutes. Okay. And then the last thing I'll just say is 2 last things. Number 1, friction. If you make the habit easy, you lighten the friction. It makes it more doable. So if a person wants to being so late, they lay out all their clothes the night before, so when they get up, the clothes are all ready. You're not running around. But you put your keys where they're supposed to be, and everything's set up. You have a coffee pot on automatic. And if you want to get rid of a bad habit, you make it harder to do. So like he gave the example, you close your TV and lock it up behind a cabinet, so in order to turn the TV on, or you delete an app, you know? So if you don't wanna watch, you know, Netflix, you get rid of Netflix, or ESPN, you get rid of the app. And the last thing is the 2-minute rule. Commit to doing no less than 2 minutes of the habit you're trying to build, because he has shown scientifically that that will actually help you build the habit. And no matter what, only miss the habit one day. Because he says, if you miss the habits 2 days in a row, now you're building a bad habit. So if you miss the habit 2 days in a row, you are building a bad habit. And with that, Mohammed Safari, you're on.
Great, thank you. That was really nice. Thank you, Moshe. So let's move a little bit, because you're sitting a long time. So let's first of all open those arms up nice and wide. This is what I do at my classes. If you want to stand, you can stand. You know, it's a long time to sit. So just open it. These are called empowering movements, right? Like when you're feeling low, when you have low energy, open it up. Open up your chest. Just feel the expansion. Like there's a lot of energy healing. This is called energy healing. You open yourself up. I open myself up to all the beauty in the world. I open myself up to all the healing in the world. And then scoop it up and bring it into your heart. And just feel that loving energy come into your body. Just visualize it circulating through your body like a beautiful golden liquid. I like to call it, what's it? Golden blossom honey. That's what I visualize. I've got this beautiful golden blossom honey traveling through my body, healing every cell, and you just feel like a golden blossom, right? But these kind of movements really, really help. Now I know for a lot of you, you know, if you can't move, that's fine, or you do it from the chair, whatever you can do. I just feel like, you know, I want to give you a little time to just, you know, feel your body. Well, let's just roll the shoulders, because most of us hold a lot of tension in our shoulders, right? We carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. So I do a lot of these during the day, and you're just shrugging off, you know, and visualization is also so important. Just shrug off any of your worries, any of your concerns, any of your problems. Just let them go. And one more that's really nice before we go on to the next portion. One hand goes up to heaven, up to the sky, and one hand down to the earth, and you stretch. And just feel that stretch. Try to really feel the stretch. Put your hand, push it down, like this. See how it is? Down, and the other one up, and stretch. Really feel, you should feel that up the side of your body. Just breathe in through your nose, and the other side, stretch it up, feel it. Just try to grow a few inches on one side, really stretch, feel it, great, beautiful. And inhale, stretch it up, lift it up. Just feel like you're growing 3 inches, reach it up, 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 up to the ceiling. Inhale, hold it. And hold it, and then exhale, just let it go. Just send everything into the floor. Just let your body just hang. Breathe in and out, watch your breath, and roll it up slowly. And let's just roll one more time, and then we'll go on to the next portion of our class. And at any time, if you feel like you need to move, you know, just go in the back and move a little bit. It's hard for me. I'm not a sitter. I'm not much of a sitter. So like, it's hard for me. I was like in torture almost all of my school years, you know, and you had to sit there for 45 minutes. And in our day, you had to sit there, you know. I wasn't like, you know, it wasn't so easy. So the next thing we're going to talk about, I know we give you a lot of things, and like, it's like, I hope, you know, God willing, some of it will stick, even if it's for 2 minutes a day. But God willing. But we want to introduce these things, you know, it's like you go to a restaurant, you know, column A, column B, pick and choose what, you know, what suits you and what you can do easily and make it fun as much as possible. And like I said, one of my main things I think is a great idea, get a buddy. from this class, or one of your friends, one of your relatives, say, I'm gonna check in, I am gonna do my breathing 2 minutes today, and you call or text the person before you do it, and then after you do it. It's called bookending. I'm bookending what I'm going to do. And I have, people I know have gratitude buddies, they have food buddies, they have water buddies.
Wow.
Like you're supposed to drink half your body weight in ounces of water. Now that's really hard for some people to do. So I know some people I know, they have water buddies. I drank 3 cups of water, and and I'm gonna drink 3 more, and then they bookend it. So this is a really great tool, and it also forms bonds, with people, and it's a really lovely, it really helps. We all know groups help, right? Like that's why they have all these, groups for AA and OA and Weight Watchers, and we have clubs here, Scrabble, blah, blah, you can go on and on. But people need people, and they also need accountability. You want to be, yes?
Does soup count as liquid as water, or you still have to have the water separate?
It should just be water or decaffeinated, or no caffeine, teas. Like peppermint is fine. Anything with no caffeine that's natural, but 0 caffeine, right? Or water. Water or an herbal tea that doesn't have any caffeine, because caffeine, and soup, see, the thing is with soup, vegetables, whatever kind of soup usually has salt in it. So it works differently in your body. So they recommend at least half your body weight in ounces of water or tea. And make it fun. I was listening to Dr. Amen, he's a brain specialist. He said, if you're not getting the right amount of water, you're gonna be depressed. I look at it like you're a flower, right? Like what happens to a flower, you don't water it, by the end of the day, like you're all, and a lot of times I feel like that, like in the middle of the day, I start to wilt. I know, and I'm not a big drinker, it's very hard for me, so I'm not, I don't know, for some reason. So, I really have to work on that, creating a better goal with that as well. That's one of my things. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna talk about, some of you may have heard of it. Did anybody here ever hear of something called EFT? You wanna write that on the board? EFT. No?
I heard of it.
You heard of it. Okay, so EFT is Emotional Freedom Technique. Emotional Freedom Technique. That sounds funny, right? But this is a technique. It's known also as something called tapping or psychological acupressure. And it first came into prominence in the 1990s. A man named Gary Craig, he invented it actually. It involves tapping on specific points on your body, primarily on the head and the face, in a particular sequence. And while doing this, the person focuses on the issue they wish to treat. And EFT, I've been doing EFT for many, many years. I love it, it's amazing, it works. So for me, it's like one of the most important things I do during my day. I have a pretty set morning routine, which takes me about an hour.
Good habits.
That I've been doing for years and years. I am an early riser, so it's much easier for me. I can't, that's just my nature. I've always been like that. I was the kind of teenager, I'd be partying with my friends till 3 in the morning, I'd still be up at 6. That's just the way my body is. It's like nothing to do with a choice, it's just the way it is. And on one hand, it's nice, but on the other hand, it can be difficult sometimes. But EFT helps people with anxiety, depression, chronic pain. Okay, this is very interesting. Stress, weight loss, and a host of other problems. It has been scientifically proven. They used it after 9/11. They had people going down with PTSD, of course, who were either injured or witnessing something like that can give you horrible depression and anxiety, So they had people come down and work with them with EFT, and it really helped them. They've done it with Vietnam vets, and you are about to learn it. and you can use it. I mean, I sometimes even walk down the street like this. You know, I mean, I taught children. I used to teach yoga to young kids, and I would teach them little tricks they could use under the desk, different things. You can do EFT. It's something you can do yourself, which is what I love about it. You don't have to go to a therapist or a doctor. I woke up this morning, I had a little back pain, and I tapped on it, and guess what? It went away. The mind-body connection is so strong, it's so deep. People have really done incredible things by changing their brain, has changed their bodies as well. There's a man, he's pretty famous at this point, Joe Dispenza. I don't know if anyone has heard of him. He was in that movie, The Secret. I'm sure everybody here has heard of The Secret, right? Mm-hmm. That movie. Well, it's really all about changing your brain and thinking positive and creating more of a life you want with your brain. This man, Joe Dispenza, was paralyzed. He was in a terrible accident. I think it was either a car accident, something like this. He was paralyzed from the neck down. He healed himself. He goes all over the world now. He's incredible. He healed himself with his brain. He just kept talking to himself. And Joe Dispenza. You want to write his name down, honey?
Yeah.
He's got lots of YouTubes. He does all kinds of seminars and classes. He's world renowned at this point. But he was a chiropractor, but he was in this terrible accident, and he just kept changing his thoughts, sending healing energy to his body, and he is walking, talking, exercising, active.
I just want to say one thing. I'm not sure I spelled it correctly. It's an S or a Z, but he started by thinking about, I'm going to move my big toe on my right foot. That's all he could. He just thought about it until he finally moved it. And then he said, now I'm going to move the big toe on the other foot. And over time, he's healed. Okay, you want to see this? I should put this on? Okay,
Yeah.
which one?
The one I sent you this morning. So we're going to show you, and I've watched thousands of these, so I picked out one. You can go on YouTube, you can find thousands of them.
Hollywood is
You can
obsessed
find
with multiple universes,
the
from
person
Doctor Strange to the
that,
DC
you know, you
universe to
resonate
everything
with. I
everywhere
happen
all
to
at
like
once.
this one.
Now, science says
Tapping, another name for it is EFT.
Okay, so you tell me. Can you turn it off? Okay, here we go.
Emotional freedom technique. We call it tapping because we are literally physically tapping on endpoints of meridians of our body. And what the latest research shows is that when we tap on these places in our body while we're stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, we send a calming signal to the amygdala in the brain. The fight or flight part of us, the part that's stressed, the part that's hurried, it sends a calming signal there, helps to rewire the brain and find peace within. We're combining the best of both worlds. We're going a little bit beyond talk therapy, which is wonderful. And when we talk about our feelings and we express what's going on in our lives, we can certainly create change. A lot of people find that they get stuck. So they'll say I've been talking about this issue for a decade and it doesn't seem to get better. I've been dealing with a fear of flying. I've been dealing with this anxiety. I've been dealing with this thing that I can't seem to break through. And what the tapping does beautifully is it brings this body that we have in, right? We tend to forget that it's not just our mind up here, that it's our whole body. So when we bring the body in, and when we combine it with the tapping, with the mind, we send that calming signal. We sort of break that pattern of what's happening in our brains. So wake up every morning and go, wait, how does that work? Like I said, the research shows we're calming that amygdala. You mentioned the pandemic. We focused on the frontline workers. So we donated over 22,000 memberships to nurses and doctors and everyone who was on the front lines doing that extra work. So for them, for example, we created specific tapping meditations in the app for before a shift and after a shift. Just trying to get their energy settled before a shift. I mean, think about it, like you're in the thick of it. I mean, that work is hard to start with, and now you add, the lockdowns and the stress and, the places that were hit hard with COVID. So preparing them for the day, and then at the end of the day, letting go of the day. So these were just processes to calm down the body, to let the body know that it's safe, to turn off that fight or flight response. Even just 5 minutes a day will transform your life. It doesn't have to be a big commitment to see the change.
Nick, it's over to you.
When we tap, we start by just tuning into what we want to work on. So take a moment now, as we've had this conversation, maybe you thought about some stress in your life, some anxiety you're feeling, if you're angry about something, if you're sad about something, just pick a target. Try to notice a place in your life, something you want to let go of. Now this could be big or small. It could be something huge, or it could be, you know what, last week someone said something to me and I can't stop thinking about it. It's running through my brain, I can't let it go. So go ahead and pick that thing for yourself. And then we want to give it a number in intensity so we can measure the before and after. Really simple, 0 to 10 scale. How anxious are you? How stressed are you? How much does this bother you? Go ahead and give it a number. If you're in physical pain, I mentioned earlier, tapping is great for physical pain. You can focus on that. You can say, you know what, my back really hurts. It's at an 8. I'm angry and I'm at a 9. I just can't let this go. So we have our target, we have a number, and then we're going to start tapping. We start by tapping on the side of the hand. It's on the outside of the hand below the pinky. You're taking 4 fingers of one hand and tapping on the other, whatever hand feels comfortable for you. And then repeat after me, either in your mind or out loud, tapping continuously. Even though I have this stress in my body,
even though I have this stress in my body,
I choose to relax now.
I choose to relax now.
We're going to stay on the side of the hand, 2 more statements. Even though I have all this stress,
Even though I have all this stress,
hard to let it go.
hard to let it go.
Open to releasing it now.
I'm open to releasing it now.
And one more time, still tapping on the side of the hand. Even though I'm holding on
Even though I'm holding on
to all this stress,
to all this stress,
I choose to let it go now.
I choose to let it go now.
Now we'll tap through the points. I'll describe them. Don't worry about getting them perfect. The first point with 2 fingers of one hand or both hands is on the inside of the eyebrow where the hair ends and it meets the nose. You're going to tap gently. And as you tap, just focus in on this issue. So if you have back pain, just feel it. If you're angry about something, think the thought. We're actually looking to fire the brain, fire that amygdala, and send that calming signal. So think about what that person said to you, the stress in your life. Now we move to the side of the eye. It's not at the temple, right next to the eye, on the bone. Again, one side or both sides, tapping gently, tuning in to this thing, this issue that you'd like to let go of. Thinking about it, visualizing it if you see things, or just having those thoughts. The next point is under the eye. Again, one side or both sides, tapping gently, thinking these thoughts, bringing your mind to this thing that has been stuck, that's been tough to let go of, and opening up to the possibility of letting it go. Now moving under the nose, 2 fingers right underneath the nose, making gentle contact with the skin of the bone, thinking about this issue. What's going on in your life that you want to let go of? Why has this been hard to let go of? Now under the mouth, above the chin, below the lip, and that little crease there, tapping gently, thinking these thoughts. And if you get distracted or you're trying to figure out the points, that's okay. Just bring your mind back to this issue, the anger, the anxiety, everything that's been going on. And just notice as you acknowledge how you feel, as you give yourself that moment to acknowledge the stress, the anxiety, the anger, your body begins to let go. That space begins to open up.
No offense, but if you still think stocks, real estate, or crypto are the best passive income investments in today's economy, I'm sorry. But you
Anyway,
guys
I just wanna say,
There's a little known
I
trend
have watched
costing millions of
probably
dollars
hundreds
right
of
now
these.
called
Every
Audible,
single one that I've watched is
Audible,
different.
owned by Amazon.
Some people tap like 5 times each, this like that. You can explore it on YouTube. I don't wanna spend all our time on it. I'm sure you probably have questions. But if it's something that appeals to you, and honestly, it works for everything. It's based on Chinese acupressure, acupuncture, and it's really very, very effective. So his sister, it's actually very interesting, and this is Nick Ortner. he's got a big company with this, and he's very generous. He's a very generous man. Like you said, he gave away 22,000 memberships, which cost at least $100 each, I think, or maybe more, during COVID. But his sister also is into this, Jessica Ortner, and she has a whole weight loss thing that she does with tapping. She had a weight problem, and she used tapping basically exclusively to lose weight. I know there are people that I've spoken to who use it for sleep, allergies, anything, cravings of all kinds. You can use it for any physical problems. Like I said, I had a backache this morning. Even though I have this backache, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. This is, like I said, there are thousands of these and all different ways to do it. You can do it for 5 minutes, you can do it for 7 minutes. Any feet you want to, as much as possible, we want to eliminate fear and anxiety, stress, discomfort, right? We all want to be happy, joyous, and free. Yes?
Actually, what is his name? Nick what?
Nick Ortner. O-R-T-N-E-R. Nick Ortner. There's another man that I really, really recommend, Brad Yates. You want to put that on there also? He's also amazing. And I have a handout for you also. So it'll be easy for you. It may seem a little complicated at first, but like any other habit, you'll see it will definitely change your life if you make it what I say, the 3 C's: commitment, consistency, and courage equals change. Right? There's a lot of C's in there, but you will see.
What do you think about
What?
as you're tapping? What are you thinking about?
So even though I have this stress, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I have a backache, even though I have a fear, even though I have a resentment towards my friend, I completely.
I just want to clarify, that's like kind of the mantra.
What are you thinking about?
Okay, so there's 2 steps. So there's 2 steps. The first step is to say, I'm feeling something, and on a scale of 1 to 10, how intense is that physical pain, worry, fear, anxiety, stress, and so on. So let's say I just did it on my back. I had a slight backache, and I said it's about a 4. So then what you do is you go through this debate. He had many, many different things that he said, but the basic thing is, starting like this, saying, even though my back hurts, I deeply and completely love myself. Even though my back hurts, I deeply and completely love myself.
Well, you don't have to say that. You can just say, even though my back hurts, I accept the pain. You just try to repeat, okay? You try to repeat. It also helps in terms of just, focusing your mind. It's almost like a meditation. It's very, try it. Just try it. You'll see. Like people said, oh, why do you keep Shabbos and keep the Sabbath? So you could sit there and explain it, but is the person really gonna understand it unless they're in it? Probably not. They're not gonna get the real feeling of what it feels like, So what I'm telling you is you can go on your own and look up different YouTubes and find people that resonate for you. I've watched hundreds of people who do this, and I found the people that I resonate with. But Brad Yates is fantastic, Jessica, there's so many fantastic people on there. I don't have to invent the wheel, right? So, these people have done it all for us, and I'm so grateful, really, because these modalities, I get up in the morning, after washing my hands and doing those kind of things, I do my writing, like I told you last week, the gratitudes, my good in myself, a good in a significant other, my goals for the day, my victories from the day before, and then a spiritual question. Like today, my spiritual question for today was, what's your definition of success? And it was so wonderful, it was like such a great thing to write about, because it put my head on straight, you know. Success is, you know, being here with you. Success is being able to walk. I took a walk this morning. What is my definition of success? Because most of us, I know for myself, a lot of times we walk around thinking, oh, we're not good enough, we didn't do enough, you know, this is not good, that's not, you know, the negative bias, right? We're all, hopefully that's why you're here. You want to have a positive bias. So these things, and then I do my breathing. First thing is breathing. After my writing, I do my breathing. That's like super important because that helps balance, you know, the body-mind connection. And then I do my tapping, and I do some yoga. It takes me about an hour to do all these things, but it's worth it. Like Moshe said, you put in the deposits, you get the dividends, right? But you gotta put the deposits in, even if it's 2 minutes. Try this for even if it's 2 minutes. I don't care. You can cut it short, but try it. It's ancient Chinese medicine we're talking here, ladies. When we happen to live in a very Asian neighborhood, right? So when I'm walking, I'm seeing they're walking around. These they don't care. They'll tap anywhere. They walk around like this. They have like sticks with balls, and they're hitting their kidneys. I don't know what they're doing. They're doing all kinds of things. But you know, it's true. It's incredible. And if you go to the parks near us, everybody's doing all kinds. There's Chinese yoga here and Chinese aerobics there and fan dancing over there and this. Obviously, you know, these are very, very healing things that, you know, God or higher power, healing power, whatever you want to call it, brought into the world for us to enhance our lives and make our lives as happy, joyous, and free as he wants us to be.
What is it called?
Emotional freedom technique.
EFT.
EFT.
We have the papers.
You didn't get the paper? Oh, I thought we had them out. So, okay, so Moshe, we decided last week, whoever can, and you can do these from a chair. Oh, you didn't get it either? Oh, yeah. Qigong, and I would like to play that song.
Okay, so why don't we play that song? So
Okay.
you have to find it. No, hold on a minute.
Here we go. Who didn't get one? Sharon? Oh, okay. Try it. What have you got to lose? Your misery? Right. I mean, that's what, you know, you just, these are all ideas. These are all based on our experience, and not just our experience. Everything that we're telling you is based on thousands of people's experience, scientific evidence, and like I said, in terms of sleep, I never tried EFT for sleep. I think it might be a very good thing to try, actually.
Someone has a question.
Yeah, Julie, yes.
No, I'm just exercising.
You're just stretching,
Oh,
okay.
so-
I'm just saying, I never tried it for sleep, and I think it's probably a very, very good idea. But I don't know that I do it, you know, I would just probably do, even though I can't sleep, you know, I accept myself. Like I said, the less you make an issue out of these things, the healthier you're gonna be. If I stress out about the fact I've been up since 2 in the morning, I could walk around saying, oh my God, you know how much sleep I got last night? Isn't it awful? Like, you know, or I could just say, okay, it's okay, I'm okay. Nothing terrible's happening, you know? And I can just meditate or just slow down my body, do my breathing. One of the reasons, like I said last week, that we get tired is that we're lacking oxygen. And if you do the breathing, even the tapping, you know, your body works better, it oxygenates more. If you do the water, that has oxygen, right? What is water? H2O, right? Your body needs oxygen. Probably more than sleep, your body needs oxygen. So a lot of times I notice for me, when I'm tired in the middle of the day, it's because I didn't drink, like I said before, and I'm wilting. I'm literally wilting. And if I drink a couple cups of water,
I don't know
I get
what video you want to
rejuvenated.
show. So you have to find the video.
Okay, so whoever wants to stand up, just do a little stretching for a second. Oh, highlight with research. Okay, so do some stretching for a second.
Okay, so while the
Or just, you could do the Qigong.
So we'll just do like a few Qigong moves while the hammer is so you can imagine like we're in an Asian neighborhood now. So everybody, your feet are shoulder length apart, knees slightly bend, and slowly just bring your hands up. Can you do me a favor and just stand outside the camera, so.
Sorry.
So that we can record this, thanks.
Sorry.
Okay.
That's okay. Yeah, just, not everybody found their place yet, and like,
Okay.
just, you know, go to things.
Just open the chest, like Muhammad was saying, open up that chest. And there is a breath with this. Basically, when you're going up, you're gonna inhale, in, out, all through the nose. Inhale. And exhale it out. Let's bend our knees slightly. Imagine you're in a cloud bank and you part the clouds. Exhale, out. In. Out. All through the nose if you can. In. Here we go. Let your hands gently float down. Turn your whole body and push the air away from you. Push the air. There should be one inhale. In. It's very slow. Out. So it's inhale. Exhale. In. And out. You want to show your play your video?
No,
Do a few
go.
more. Okay, we'll do a few more. We'll do a few more moves.
I was
This
gonna
is
say,
an-
we're gonna do Qigong at the Wolverton Pool this afternoon, so.
Hopefully.
You can come over and do it with us.
Okay, so I want you to imagine that in the corner, there's like a piece of silk string, and you're gonna grab a hold of it between your thumb and your first finger, and you're gonna turn, keeping your head in the center of your body. You turn, grab a hold of that silk string, and now pull it towards you. Turn, pull. Inhale. Exhale. In. And out. So it's very, very slow movements. Let's make believe you're rowing a boat. Row the boat. Exhale. Inhale. Out. In. Slap the ball. Nice and slow. So the thing is, go as slow as you can go. Just really slow it down. And after a while, what you want to do is you want to match your breath with your movement. So when I reach here, now I switch to let's say an exhale. When I reach here, switch to an inhale. So you tie it into your breath. So it's in, out. In, and out. I'll do one more. Let's make believe we have a ball. Kind of feel that ball. Let's just kind of play with it. A lot of visualization in this, as with everything else. Get your ball, bring it up, and now pass it from hand to hand as you turn, side to side. This is called Dance of the Clouds. Put your right hand over your left. Slowly push all that good energy back down towards your belly button. Now take 3 complete breaths. That's an inhale and exhale, only through the nose if you can. Now, I don't know about you, but I felt a change in the whole state of the room, right? So,
Very calming.
I wanted to play a song.
Yes, Dawn.
What about, like, I always feel when I do the nose breathing that I'm not getting enough air. It's not comfortable, totally comfortable.
I think if you work on it, practice, it's like any other muscle. I think, it's habitual, like people habitually breathe, are mouth breathers. And it is something you can change, but it will take conscious effort, I think. But, the looking for air, I don't know, I'll look into it.
Well, I'll tell you, so the first time
I'm looking into the
we
air.
spoke about this in a previous class, we spoke about breath. So I would say, if that's the case, then begin at least either the inhale or the exhale through the nose. So start like that. That's a good start. But what he discovered is that he plugged up his nose and only breathed through his mouth. And he discovered that his oxygen content dropped dramatically, only breathing through his mouth. Now, they actually plugged his nose for like a week or two. So it really is important, as best you can, but as the comment said, practice it. You have to choose which one you have to.
And it's a very good, they say, we dig our graves through our mouths. So keeping your mouth shut it's a key to longevity, right?
Okay, so
Because the words we speak can also, create.
In the exercise classes, they usually say breathe in through the nose and out the mouth.
they're wrong.
Not in Qigong.
It's misinformed.
It's
Oh,
diaphragmatic.
that's your card. That's your homework?
I'm so sorry, I have it on.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm
I'm
sorry.
I don't know which one you want to play.
In Qigong, you breathe through the belly and keep your mouth closed.
Yeah, I'll send it to you. I have your email? So I wanted to really start, in fact, next week when you come in, hopefully we're gonna have this on for you when you come in. This song, I think, has literally also changed my life. And my little bitty granddaughter, I taught it to her, so every time we're on FaceTime, we sing this song. And it's become part of her life, and I hope it becomes part of yours. I think if it's okay, if nobody has to get up, I'll turn the lights off. But you can get up, if you wanna stand while you see it, you can.
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It may not be the way I want it to be, but I thank you for every situation that made me good and bad friends that came into my life.
There's so many of them. It's a very, very popular song. Some of you may have seen it. I think some of you have seen
I thought maybe you'd saved it.
What's it called?
Just what do you want to do, search beautiful day again?
She's trying to change it. What is the name of the song?
Beautiful, it's a beautiful day.
It's a beautiful
This
day.
one.
All right.
It's called Beautiful Day. Beautiful Day. Some people say, on there, sometimes it's a beautiful day.
Said this morning I woke up and I looked in the mirror and every part of my body was in place. Many people died and never saw this day. So another day I live, I appreciate. Don't ever wanna act so high and
You can sing along if you want.
tomorrow I can fall down on my face. Doing everything, Lord, I give you praise. And that puts a smile on my face. Lord, I thank you for sunshine. Thank you for rain. Thank you for joy. Thank you for pain.
So you can see why my granddaughter and I, we have a little party every time.
Jermaine, what's that?
Jermaine Edwards.
T-R-N-I-X?
Okay, so, hold on.
T-R what?
Oh, and there's
Jermaine Edwards.
Oh, that was a commercial. That's not good.
No, his name is
It's
Jermaine
Jermaine Edwards.
Jermaine
Jermaine Edwards. I wanna see if I can go back.
So, everybody, I have your cards. I'm gonna give you your card. We'll see you next week. Who's gonna do their homework?
Wait a minute.
I have a lot to say. Hello, everybody.
So what
So
am I
much,
doing?
so much.
Your homework. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you.
Have a beautiful day.
Not
No.
every day, whenever Moshe
Whenever
can.
we're
We'll
there.
have
So
Chiron
it's-
at the pool today, if you wanna come. You got your card?
Probably around 4, I don't know, Nakama, I have to ask my wife. So we have some things to do.
I'll call you if I can have my.
Nakama, what time? Nakama, you'll ask her, I don't know, 4:30, I don't know, so.
You don't know it.
Right, it's not a scheduled thing, it's just. Oh, okay, thanks, no worries.
Yes.
I never heard of tapping.
Yeah, it's very, very good. We do it.
I had a shave
I like it.
from my and it was in
Right, Jack.
but it could be and
Well, you think about it, I could say.
Elaine, I'm sending
It
you
could be,
I saw you
set that,
yesterday.
I say,
You go to
like,
the
well,
pool,
you get a
don't you?
parking space, it could be anything. So even though I'm upset that I didn't get a
Which
parking
building do you
space,
live in?
even though I'm upset that,
Oh, okay.
that they ran out of everything on sale, even though I'm upset that, whatever it is, I did get completely.
I know it's genius, okay, maybe in her way.
Deeply and completely, we'll let it go.
I went a few weeks ago.
Whatever you said. Then when you have me right saying it over and over again, yeah, it calms the mind.
no, the comes on.
But I like when
This is the class.
So, you can check it out, but the long one, a lot of further information on. The guy that started
To me,
it,
this is
did
like,
what,
this is what I'm
very
really waiting for.
in the 1970s, I guess.
You'll have to wait till
Started in 1980s, he's always been on veterans.
That's what I have to do every day, so why not everybody else? We can have a party together.
I have one.
Temple
having some affair,
The Veterans
coming up.
Hospital.
There's
He
something
went to
going on,
Veterans
right?
Hospital.
Yeah, they're having,
Working,
now's the
being
show
on
for
vets,
the people
and
that.
they showed
Oh,
dramatic
resident
results.
show.
The resident show.
Oh, I had that. I mean, they all got
So
samples.
that's where he
Are they
gets
having-
those.
They're having something tomorrow. I know they're having something.
I'm not a good
for you.
Horror pre-horror?
Yeah, something pre-tomorrow party, but I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's tomorrow.
I think there's something.
I'm not sure. Did you get your card, sweetheart?
I got my.
You got your card? You got your homework? Who's gonna do their homework?
Oh, honey, you're gonna check it.
Wow.
Thank you, precious.
Okay, so that was Jermaine Edwards, and the thing is that.
Oh, see?
Oh,
she should get a star.
That video, I saved, so you can ask the comment to.
Move it to
share with
you.
her. I sent her the link.
More than I.
Yeah, she should double check.
Yeah, October. Oh, I could.
What
Yeah,
time?
she has.
What
But I
time?
wanted to do something 10 to 11.
So,
4:15.
What time is it
I
gonna
thought
do?
there might have been a lunch.
4:30. I'm gonna do whatever.
You're in
Moshe does
Guilford A.
about 15 minutes of
You're
what
in
he
C,
just
I'm in
did.
D.
But it's more elongated.
No, I think
This,
this
he
is
gave you
orthodox.
just a few, 4:30, so we'll do that.
Is this one time he's gonna do it, or often?
We do it as often
But
as
it
we
is,
can.
it is.
Thank you.
You don't know when you do it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you.
We don't have a take care.
Bye.
You remember me?
5:30 class.
Remember me?
Yes.
Today, that's what I wanted to know. And also, from where I broke my neck and I did myself.
Yeah, I looked into myself in the closet.
I know. So when we see each other. I know.
Outfit, smile though. She was, I looked at you and I said,
She remembers the smile.
You're over 35. Take care.
Yes, you are.
Thank you, my man.
Is it
memorized set of
Alright. So, I'm gonna, now let me share it with you.
I wanna ask her about.
Do your homework. They were our company in the elevator. Ah.
Wonderful.
You never know who you're gonna meet in the elevator. Yeah, really. Oh.
I'm trying to send it. And I don't think it's- You know what,
Just pour a lot of love.
Last time.
alright, hold on. Okay, what's your email?
Linda, hold the medication, S,
She's 65?
yes.
Really?
E-E-R.
At
Oh,
gmail.com.
oh, she's 65. She's 65? Maybe she is 65. I met them through their daughter.
Oh, that's.
And I don't remember when she was born. What year? Now you must know, you're her mommy. You're her mom.
64.
And
63.
She's 60, so she's not Medicare,
No.
by Medicare.
But Medicare, but the other
Some
insurance is
kind of
taken
insurance.
care
Oh,
of.
good.
Yeah.
No, I want to call her today. Thank you so much. She's
She's
having
having,
the 20th. When is the
On the
20th?
email?
I think Wednesday.
I don't know, Muhammad, I didn't, Muhammad may have sent something.
What?
Muhammad, did you send something to the class last week on email?
I just sent, if you missed the class.
I missed the class.
Okay, so I'll send it to you.
You have my
Do I
email?
have, I don't know, I think I have your, I think I only have your phone number.
Thank you.